Peace, y'all. It's your boy Zulu King Street Fame 47. Y'all know what it is. Smash the like button, subscribe if you ain't subscribed. If you want to donate to the channel, then the Cash App will be pinned in the comments. Now, usually I do celebrity gossip. I do stories on Orlando and the hoods, and I do jewelry today. I drop some jewelry on y'all, some history of stuff that goes on in America they don't tell you about. And I also do story times. It's one of them story times. This is basically how I stopped a war from breaking out in prison between the Bloods and the ñetas. Now, for those that ain't never been in the prison system in Florida, it's completely different from anywhere else. The prison system in Florida, you'll have Bloods, Crips, Folks, Latin Kings, Aryan Nation, everybody in the same dorm. They don't separate the gang members. They don't have one dorm just for Bloods and one dorm for Latin Kings and one dorm. So you might have a few members of different sets in the dorm with you. MS-13s, it's crazy. So I knew a Blood. He wasn't even really a Blood. He used to run with the Bloods. His brother was a Blood in New York, and he was from New York. I knew him from the county. We was in the county, niggas was fighting for their life in the county. I was facing 45 years. He ended up with 30 years. My roommates, one of them, he got 10 for a body after he had 4 hung juries and 1 mistrial. And they still gave him 10. He was supposed to walk away from that. Other ones caught life. Everybody was fighting for their lives in there. We was at what we call the jungle, the main unit. And you have 8 cells. No, you got 4 cells, 8 people in each cell. So the Blood, my homie Flip, I knew him through there. You know what I'm saying? He had got in a fight with one of my roommates, bit his ear off and shit. So he ended up in prison with 30 years. I ended up, I ended up with a split. I took a plea for 3 in, 2 out. So I had a split sentence. So we ended up in the same camp in prison. Nah, it's another dude I was locked up with in a different county. You know what I'm saying? I was locked up with Flip in Orange County in Orlando, and I was locked up with Caco. Caco was his name. Caco means helmet in Spanish. He was a ñeta from Puerto Rico. He was an old head. He was their original founders of ñeta with Carlito La Sombra. He was in the wars, you know what I'm saying, with the 27s, and he was no tolerance, he was an old school gangster for real. The thing with Caco is Caco used to be a boxer in Puerto Rico in prison. And he used to headbutt. This nigga had a big ass head. You know what I'm saying? He had caught a charge to let a dog go on him. And the dog bit him in the head. And I used to clown him because when he came to jail, he had his hair wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? It was an easy target for the dog. So I used to clown him all the time about that. But he was bumping. You know what I'm saying? And the COs, when he used to fight, they used to fight against the COs in Puerto Rico. Because the Nieta started for the abuse. You know what I'm saying? They was protecting the weak, and they was protecting from the rapes, and the robberies and jail, stealing from each other, and against the COs, they're really against the authorities. You know what I'm saying? So they would fight and go to war with the COs. The COs would take his hands and beat him down and crush his hands with the batons, because he was a boxer, and he used to lay them out, and he would headbutt them and all that. You know what I'm saying? But Caco was a killer. There's been, it talks about him, he stabbed a dude 187 times. And he was from a different era. You know what I'm saying? You see he's an older dude, but he was from a different era of inmates. They was taking, in his time, they was taking inmates in Puerto Rico, and if you had violated or you did something and they was putting, the nietas were regulating, yo, when count time came, they be like, oh, homie escaped, but they'll cut you up. You know what they do is they'll cut your arm off, your arms off, your legs off, and they'll walk on them. You know what I'm saying? They'll just keep walking on your arms and walking on your legs and walking on your chest and walking and walking and walking on your body is cut up. And what that does is it separates your flesh from the bone. Then they take the bones and break them down. Now your flesh is, they flush that down the toilet. They take the bones and break them down, break them down, break them down, and flush them down the toilet. Your head they put in a pillowcase, and they beat it against the wall until it's mush, and they flush it down the toilet. And he was from this era, and he was one of them ones putting in work like that. Like he ran 9 prisons in Puerto Rico. Anyway, he ended up in Florida in prison. Boom. He was even married. Like ñetas, they will allow you to get married to a dude in prison. Like if you have a life or something like that. It's one of the only organizations that really, and it's because they're not with the abuse, either gays or anybody. It's just they're not with the abuse. If that's what you is, that's what you is. But he was even like married to a dude. He did like 27 years in PR. Came over here and he did 13. But I already had done time with him in in the county, and I seen him in prison. He had called 13. Boom. He was tight with his white boy from Boston. You know what I'm saying? Boston was a credit card scammer. Boston wasn't no real like street goonie. You know what I'm saying? He was just a credit card scammer. So he got tight with Boston. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying, if he liked the Boston or what, but you know what I'm saying, Kako was a gangster. Like the COs were scared of him and everything. They were like, yo, don't, the COs where we was at will beat you to death. Like I seen 7 people die in 30 days in a box. You know what I'm saying? But they knew he was against them, you know what I'm saying? And they was kind of scared of him, you know what I'm saying? They did their homework on him. So, but Kako was cool with Boston. They went to visit one day, and Boston's family was there. And Boston didn't have no mother or father. It was his grandparents, and his grandparents was asking Kako, yo, can you watch over my grandson, blah, blah, blah. You know, the homie wasn't really no street dude. He was just a credit card scammer. So Kako comes to me like, boom. At this point, Boston was getting extorted by the Bloods. Some dude that was going home told the Bloods, yo, he gets a bag every week. So the Bloods is hitting him up in the canteen line and pulling out knives on him, like 5 or 6 of them. Boom. Gakko sees me talking to one of the Blood niggas, Flip. I know Flip. I know Flip from the outs. You know what I'm saying? So Flip's like, Gakko's like, it's about to break out, because Gakko don't like that. He's like, yo, that's abuse. You're taking advantage of him because he's weak. I'm not with that. I went to wars for that. I seen the blood run. I seen, you know what I'm saying? We don't chop bodies up about that, blah, blah, blah. He takes it serious. He a OG. So all the ñetas is behind him. So this is about to shake. So he come to me, he's like, yo, I see you talk to the little dude. You know what I'm saying? You talk to the little morenito, hit him up, talk to him. I want to have a meeting in the yard. So I'm like, all right, cool. Boom. So I like, what you want to do though? You want to shake something? What you want? He's like, yo, I want to talk. I want to talk first. We want to, you know, some politics, and if they ain't agreeing with what I'm saying, then it is what it is. Like, all right, cool. So I see Flip like, yo, homie, we coming from the childhood now in the prison system. Out here, you got to walk in a line. Like everybody's in a line. You got to stay in that yellow line going to the child hall, and then on the other side of the dorm, you see the other dorms coming back. They in a line. You got to stay in that line. They real like bugged down and strict on that. So I see him. So I tell him, yo, go to the yard. I said, yo, take your man's the head. His right hand man was the head of the Bloods. The real head was in the box. So the next up was him. So he was the one running the compound at the time. So he was the head. So that was his right hand man. Like, yo, you and your mans come to the yard, man. I gotta holler at you. He's like, all right, straight. I'm like, man, I gotta talk to you, man. Come through. He's like, all right, boom. So in the dorm after the child. So I hated. They come to the window. Now the dorms, you got the T buildings, which is like high what do you call it? Niggas got high custody. They was in the T buildings. You got the T buildings in this camp. You know what I'm saying? So they got the cell block doors, like the cell doors. Boom, they lock in. Then you got the open bay doors. I was in the open bay, which is like high, medium high, whatever. Boom. So then they slid over to outside of the compound, and I had somebody screaming my name in the dorm. So I'm like, what's up? They're like, yo, somebody looking for you. So I look out the window, because it's like one story, 2 dorms. You got an A side and a B side. We was on the A side. And you can look out the window. They got like 6 windows, big like house windows in the front. So I look. They got them in the back too, and on the side, but and I see Flip. So I go outside, I'm like, what's up? And I see his homeboy, his right hand man, and they got 2 knives, both of them. They got knives, and I look to the right of the building, and behind the building, like we got gun towers in prison. If you go behind the buildings, they shoot you. They got the right to shoot you because they think you're escaping. These niggas is behind the building, like peeking around a corner. It's like 5 niggas. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck, nigga? What's up? So he's like, yo, you straight? I'm like, yeah, I'm straight. What's up? So he was like, nobody messing with you in here? Like, nah. He's like, I'm like, nah, nigga, what's up? He's like, you told me you gotta holler at me, man. What's up? Somebody messing with you in here? We gonna run up in here right now. So I'm like, nah, my nigga, I'm good, my nigga. I gotta holler at you about something else, my nigga. So he's like, man, you sure, man? We ready now. They about to run in the dorm and poke everybody up, thinking somebody messing with me. I'm like, nah, man, I gotta talk to you about some other stuff, man. Just come to the yard. Boom. Slide to the yard. Yard time rep. We out there. So I tell him, look, man. So I'm with the old man, him and his homie. And they got a Spanish blood with him. You know what I'm saying? That he's supposed to be their translator. But old man don't speak no English. You know what I'm saying? So I'm translating for him. We talking. I'm like, yo, listen. The white boy y'all extorting, that's his mans. You know what I'm saying? That's my mans from the street. The old man's my mans from the street. You my mans from the street. Y'all gotta fall back off the white boy, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Cause the old man, he ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just putting down on him cause he weak. That's his man. He ain't gonna let it fly, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Before things get out of hand, just fall back off the, you know what I'm saying? I'm asking you for me, my nigga. So he like, that's your boy from the street? I'm like, yeah. So he like, man. So he's like, nah. He's like, all right, man, that shit dead. So the leader is like, hell nah, fuck that. He owed me, man. He owed me, man. This and that, blah blah blah. So the old man's like, listen, if he owe you, cause he are gambling and he lost a debt to you, and he owed you from something like that, then he has to pay you. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all just putting your foot down on him, that ain't gonna rock. So the blood nigga's like, nah, he owed me because he was gambling, this and that. He lying though. My boy's like, nah, he don't owe us nothing. So now they get to arguing. He looking at the old man, but he don't realize, you know what I'm saying, like who the old man is. He just think he an old man. So I'm like, look, my nigga, fall back off the white boy, my nigga. I know the nigga don't owe you nothing for no gambling. I know y'all just, you know what I'm saying, just before the situation get, fall back off the white boy. They interpreted the blood, the Spanish blood. He just trying to interpret things different, like with an attitude to gas him up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, listen, it is what it is, man. You gonna have to fall back off the white boy, dog. You know what I'm saying? The white boy, that's his people. That's my people from the street. Flip my nigga from the street. Before this shit fly, you ready to see Flip, right? He say it's dead. So you before this shit get out of hand, my nigga. I said, yo, look over there. Look under the pavilion. When he looked under the pavilion, it was like 60 ñetas over there. I said, you see them? I said, those are all ñetas. This old man's a ñeta from Puerto Rico. Niggas ain't alone, my nigga. Like, this shit about to get serious. But there's only 5 of these bloods in the yard, and there's like 60 ñetas. So he like, oh, so you know so and so? He like, you know Pancho? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. He like that. So my old man like, that's my brother. Yeah, I know him. And he like, oh, that's my dog. Oh, nah, y'all good. Woo, I didn't know. Like, y'all was ñeta, blah, 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 woo, 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 woo. So they said, we're gonna leave the white boy alone, man. We good, this and that. So the situation gets squashed right there. The boy Boston still thanks me to this day about that. You know what I'm saying? Because they were putting down on the boy. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing really had a shakedown with no like bloodshed and no violence and all that. Was on some, some politics shit. I think it was just because they was outnumbered. That once they seen that it was in the rec yard, the gates is closed, ain't nowhere to go. There's like 60, you know what I'm saying, dudes all the way in the corner. And out in the middle of the yard is just us talking. When they looked, they thought the old man was just a regular old man, man. You never know who was who. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all little young niggas be talking about, oh, y'all old. But you don't know, man. The man done put in so much work ready. You know what I'm saying? There's different levels, way of dealing with stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you got gangsters, you know what I'm saying? You got thugs, they impulsive. You know what I'm saying? You got gangsters. You know what I'm saying? So there's different levels to this. You know what what I'm saying? But, just a little story I'm going to share with y'all about my little stay in the prison system. I got some more stories, you know what I'm saying? Crazy stories about the prison system in Florida. It's definitely a crazy situation in Florida. I don't understand how they got all these gangs in the same dorm and everybody, like, you know what I'm saying? You got different wars with different gangs and niggas in the same dorm, and it's crazy, man. And the COs out here straight killing dudes, man. Like, it's a whole different world out here in Florida in the prison system. But yeah, it's your boy Zulu King Street Fame 407, man. Just trying to share with y'all today, man. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. Y'all be safe out there, man. Peace, love, and light, man.